Guys, my presentation will be covering the assessment of functional living skills and also known as Afls. The Afls is an assessment skills tracking system and curriculum guide for the development of essential skills for achieving independence. It was created by Dr. James and Dr. Michael Mueller in 2012. The efforts entails collecting information from three major sources. The main source comes from people who regularly interact with the learners, including parents, teachers, and the second source comes from direct observation of the learner in various settings. It is used to determine how the learner typically uses their skills. The third source of information is obtained from the formal presentation of tasks to the learner to determine his or her competence with specific skills. The time it takes depends on the skill level of the learner and how familiar the administrator or the caregiver are with the learner. The time allotted for intake vary by company. They can take 3 to 4 hours and they may stretch it over the number of days. So I use it. These skills are essential practicals and everyday skills of daily living. If they are not mastered, they will need to be done for the learner. There are 6 modules designed to ensure caregivers and professionals provide learner with the best opportunities to learn how to do tasks for themselves in a broad array of real world settings. Parents, educators, professionals, and the other caregivers can use it at use efforts over daily living skills in 66 functional skill areas. It is used to demonstrate a learner's current functional skills repertoire, develop, enhance person-centered programming and transition plan, provide critical roadmap for learners, track the progressive development of the skills from age 2 throughout life, and can be used simultaneously with ABLES. They are, ABLES consists of 6 assessment protocols. The basic living skills assessment, the home skills assessment, the community participation assessment, the school skills assessment, the independent living assessment, and the vocational skills assessment. While each of these assessments can be used as as standalone assessments, they should be conceptualized as being different module of the extended assessment. They can be used standalone, they should be conceptualized, and so being different modules of extended assessment that exist on continuum as the skill addressed are all based upon overreaching goals for maximizing freedom, independence, and opportunities for individuals with ASD. The basic living skills assessment ranges from skills that are often acquired by typically developing children at a very early age through those that may not be acquired until late adolescence, so or even early adulthood. These skills should be considered as a prerequisite for any functional skills program. For any age setting or disability, these skills are not mastered. They will have a profound effect on learners' ability to live independently, to be successful in school or take advantage of various social and recreational activities throughout their life. They include self management, basic communication, nighttime routine, health, safety, and first aid dressing, grooming, bathing, toileting. Home skills are often acquired by typical developing individuals through day to day interactions, teaching sequences and consistent parental and sibling modeling. The assessment includes meals at home, clothing and laundry, housekeeping and chores, household mechanics, kitchen cooking dishes, leisure, the community participation. Assessment includes community knowledge, social awareness, and manners, meals in public, well, basic mobility, money shopping, phone and time. The intervention starts with learning to navigate safely around the paths, roads, streets, and signs, along with interacting with people along the way, and then move into those more detailed skills. School skills assessment covers basic behavioral expectations, including compliance, role following, transitions, waiting in lines, and more. It is essential for independence and successful functioning in different areas. The behavioral expectations include compliance, role following, transitions, waiting in lines, and more. It is essential for independence and successful functioning in different types of classroom in all parts of the school system, with peers and changing staff cover all levels of education. Module includes skills such as knowledge, core academics, applied academic classrooms, mechanic routines and expectations, technology, social and meals at schools. Independent living skills assessment focuses on skills necessary for transitioning from supervised lifestyle to a less supported lifestyle. Module this includes interpersonal relationships, social interaction, personal management, problem solving, money management, independent shopping, kitchen tools and appliances, food and meal planning, living with others, maintenance and cleaning mechanics and repairs, organization skills, community travel, transportation, self care, and safety. Vocational skills prepare the learner for joining the workforce. The vocational skills assessment includes co-worker relations, workplace assessment, understanding the safety, fixed activity skills course, the cleaning industry job search interviews, and other basic skills intervention using FOs require using a changing criteria design method. Each model contains a unique skills tracking, and this grid allows you to see the results, select the skills in need of a support track, and compare progress over time. Shading on the graphs represent progress or mastery of skills, whereas more shading equals more skills and less shading equals less skills. This is a sample assessment sheet for grooming. Starting on the left side, you see the task number or the code that correlates to the visual metrics. Next to that, you see a score that is used to score the learner's capability by criterion ranges from 2 to 4 depending on the task. Skipping over criteria, right here you see the description for each criteria number from 1 to 2 or 1 to 4. A score of 0 is given if the learner does not reach the criteria. One in between, you see the task name, the task objective or description, the questions we are focusing on, and an example of the task if provided. On the far end is the space for comments, and this is a sample skill tracking sheet. For home skills, across the bottom you see an abbreviation and the skill domain. So here extending up from each domain or specified task for the assessment. These are expressed as the task codes that are transferred from assessment sheet. Next to each task code, you see a circle. Fill the circle in when the skill was assessed and scored 0. Leave it empty if the skill was not assessed. Besides the circle, you see boxes. Each box represents the criteria. So here you see 2 if the learner scored a criteria of 1. You would just fill in 1, and here's an example of 4. If they scored 3, you would fill it in 3, and so forth. In the top left corner, you see a box up there, and that serves as a legend. It has room for the learner's name and assessor's name, date, and the color code for each assessment. This is sample of a graph for neurotypical child. As you can see, many of the tasks are already mastered. Some are not, some only have 1 or 2 criteria at mastery, which is expected because there's always going to be a room for growth as we learn and develop. And on the next slide, you will see an example of a sample graph of a child with autism. Here is a sample graph for the child with autism. As you can see, many of the skills were scored with a 0. It is far less shaded in you to do and see some skills that are mastered. But as far as you can see, there is a lot of room for learning. And let's take a look up here at the legend. Just a reminder, we see the learner and we see that this was done by mom. However, I don't see a color code. Interesting, this just reiterates that the assessment is designed in a simple way so that everybody can really conduct it. In summary, as Afls is used to access independence, functional living skills, it was created with a sample design so that it can be used by anyone. Uses a changing criteria. Intervention method with 6 protocols and have over 1,900 daily living skills in 66 functional skill areas. It uses a predetermined set of criteria for each skill that guides the scoring process through assessment sheets, skills tracking sheets, provide visual representation, or used to consolidate other data for easier treatment planning.